Scotland come from behind to beat Norway in Norway, which is pretty huge, Jules.
Yeah.
Even bigger is the fact that apparently after the game, Erling Haaland was booed by his own fans for not stopping to sign autographs. Is this a big deal?
Yeah, well, to start with, I think what was a big deal is that despite Norway having a lot of the ball, most of the ball, Haaland only had one shot. That was the penalty that he scored, that he got himself but scored. He had only 17 touches, I think. So the issues that we've seen at times, the City clearly are still there with Norway. And
because Norway play like City.
But this is a good Norway team too. You know, it's not like if he was the only one and then everybody was like fourth division kind of level. So that's a bit of a worry, I think. Then I think he was probably very disappointed. That I think now Scotland are 8 points clear of Norway. Norway have started very poorly those qualifications. I think the idea that we all had at the start of the qualification is that, okay, Norway are going to make it to the Euros. We'll see Odegaard, Haaland in the Euros, Soloth, blah, blah, blah. So far, it's a nightmare for them. And I think maybe the disappointment felt that he didn't want to have any interaction with anybody, fans included, but it's still not a good look.
Yeah, I think this is very, like, I don't think it's a big deal. I think he's going to look at this and be like, all right, this is not what I want to be doing. I'm sorry if there's a misunderstanding, whatever. This just doesn't fit his personality. He is, by every account, he's somebody who is very giving with fans and whatever. So, yeah, I think we can move past that bit.
Definitely. Gab, I don't think I'm revealing any secrets when I say here that you're a Nigerian fan, of course, and you have a lot of fans in Nigeria, of course, especially the ones listening, when it comes to African football. So tell me about this new TV deal then. Okay,
so at least an item about this. But, one of my big things is about football in Africa. There's so many great footballers who are African or of African descent. And I often wonder, how can they actually capitalize on it so that, maybe they hang on these kids longer and whatever. So there's a company, and I do not work for them. I know nothing about them other than what I've read, called Propel Sports Africa. And they've hired former Manchester City legend Paul Dickov is apparently involved with them. I don't know if he's an investor or what. But basically, they're going to do a little bit like what MLS did with Apple TV. So they're going to produce all the games and they're going to stream them around the world. And there's a massive Nigerian diaspora around the world, right? Nigerians are everywhere outside. And of course, Nigeria's a big country to begin with. And what I thought was interesting too is a lot of this it's all like, it's all kind of automated in the sense that the cameras, the production, I don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to work, but the upshot is you can do apparently high quality productions without human beings.
Wow.
I don't know if they're going to have robot commentators as well. That would be interesting. But whatever. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was innovative. I thought it was new. Good luck to them.
Yeah,
I'm all for people trying to compete with the big established leagues who've got all the money and all the history behind them.
Yeah.
Jules, this brings us to an end.
Yeah.
But we're going to be back on Thursday for those last European qualifiers you're dying to talk about now.
Of course.
I expect some big developments in the transfer window in the next couple of days. Until then, love the game, love your neighbor, love yourself.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.